guys, I'm here with your Bible readings. I hope you guys are having a good day. We have a 2-day Bible reading today. We'll be reading Galatians chapter 3, verse 10, reading through chapter 4, verse 31. And we have 1 or 2 Proverbs today, depending on how long it is. I would say probably 2 Psalms. Psalms, not Proverbs. And then, of course, we are in the 30 sayings of the wise in Proverbs still, so we'll be reading more of that today for both days. So, we'll be reading in the New International Version if you'd like to follow along. Sherm's laying down right now. He had to go to the ear doctor again today. But I'm trying to make a daily vlog, and I started yesterday. So I'll tell more about that in the vlog, in case you guys are interested. And I also got a tag video to do that I was supposed to do yesterday, but I got really tired, so I couldn't get it done. Okay, so we'll be reading in the New International Version. Let's get started, and if someone is talking here, that'll be Paul speaking. Yes, the same Paul that was speaking in 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians. Paul that used to be named Saul. He used to be a bad guy. And now he was good. For all who rely on the works of the law are under a curse. As it is written, "Cursed is everyone who does not continue to do everything written in the book of the law." Clearly, no one who relies on the law is justified before God, because the righteous will live by faith. The law is not based on faith. On the contrary, it says, "The person who does these things will live by them." Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us, for it is written, "Cursed is everyone who is hung on a pole." He redeemed us in order that the blessing given to Abraham might come to the Gentiles through Christ Jesus, so that by faith we might receive the promise of the Spirit. I'm going to talk about the law and the promise now. Brothers and sisters, let me take an example from everyday life. Just as no one can set aside or add to a human covenant that has been duly established, so it is in this case. The promises were spoken to Abraham and to his seed, which is his children and grandchildren and so on and so on. We're mainly talking about his children right here when we're saying many people, but add to your seed. Meaning one person who is Christ. What I mean is this: the law introduced 430 years later does not set aside the covenant previously established by God and thus do away with the promise. For if the inheritance depends on the law, then it no longer depends on the promise. But God, in His grace, gave it to Abraham through a promise. Why then was the law given at all? It was added because of transgressions until the seed to whom the promise referred had come. The law was given through angels and entrusted to a mediator. A mediator, however, implies more than one party, but God is one. Is the law therefore opposed to the promise of God? Absolutely not. For if a law has been given that could impart life, then righteousness could certainly have come by the law. But Scripture has locked up everything under the control of sin, so that what was promised, being given through faith in Jesus Christ, might be given to those who believe. So not just the Jews, but the Gentiles as well. A Gentile is anyone who is not Jewish. So Sherm and I are both Gentiles. Before the coming of this faith, we were held in custody under the law, locked up until the faith that was to come would be revealed. So the law was our guardian until Christ came, that we might be justified by faith. Now that this faith has come, we are no longer under a guardian. We are talking about the children of God now. So in Christ Jesus, you are all children of God through faith. For all of you who were baptized into Christ have clothed yourselves with Christ. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, neither slave nor free, nor is there male and female, for you all are one in Christ Jesus. If you belong to Christ, then you are Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise. What I am saying is that as long as an heir is under age, he is no different from a slave, although he owns the whole estate. The heir is subject to guardians and trustees until the time set by his father. So also, when we were under age, we were in slavery under the elemental spiritual forces of the world. But when the set time had fully come, God sent his Son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship. Talking about Jesus here. Because you are his sons, God sent the Spirit of his Son, Jesus, into our hearts, the Spirit who calls out, Abba, Father. So you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. Formerly, when you did not know God, you were slaves to those who by nature are not God's. But now that you know God, or rather are known by God, how is it that you are turning back to those weak and miserable forces? Do you wish to be enslaved by them all over again? You are observing special days and months and seasons and years. I fear for you that somehow I have wasted my efforts on you. I plead with you, brothers and sisters, become like me, for I became like you. You did me no wrong. As you know, it was because of an illness that I first preached the gospel to you. And even though my illness was a trial to you, you did not treat me with contempt or scorn. Instead, you welcomed me as if I were an angel of God, as if I were Christ Jesus himself. Where then is your blessing of me now? I can testify that if you could have done so, you would have torn out your eyes and given them to me. Have I now become your enemy by telling you the truth? Those people are zealous to win you over, but for no good. What they want is to alienate you from us, so that you may have zeal for them. It is fine to be zealous, provided the purpose is good, and to be so always, not just when I am with you. My dear children, for whom I am again in the pains of childbirth, until Christ is formed in you, how I wish I could be with you now and change my tone, because I am perplexed about you. We're going to talk about Hagar and Sarah now. Hagar was Sarah's slave, who also had a son by Sarah's husband Abraham, because Sarah told him to. And then she got jealous when she had a child and wanted to make sure everything was given to her child, Isaac, Abraham and Sarah's son Isaac, instead of Ishmael, Hagar's son. So she had Abraham send Hagar and Ishmael, his son, away. But God helped them as well. But Isaac would be the one to go down the line under his father, not Ishmael. Tell me, you who want to be under the law, are you not aware of what the law says? For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, one by the slave woman and the other by the free woman, Hagar and Sarah. Sarah being his wife, Hagar being the slave of Sarah. His son by the slave woman was born according to the flesh, but his son by the free woman was born as a result of divine promise. What that means is Sarah and Abraham were very old by this time, and they had tried to conceive, have a baby for years, and Sarah was barren. And they kept praying for a baby, but then, they stopped because they were so old. They knew that she couldn't get pregnant anymore. But God told Abraham he would have a son, and his name was going to be Isaac. And Sarah laughed. She didn't believe it, and God knew she laughed. So he was upset by her. But that time next year, just like God said, they had a son and named him Isaac. Sarah, being in her old age, still had a son. That's what they're talking about as a result of divine promise. Because he told them they would have a son, and they didn't believe it because they were so old. But God intervened and gave her a son, gave Abraham a son, Isaac, who would later be the father of Jacob and Esau, which are twins. And Jacob would be the one who got the blessing from his father Isaac, so he got down the line. And then, of course, he had all the other sons, and Joseph being the youngest. Well, Benjamin the youngest after Joseph, but by 2 sisters, Rachel and Leah. That's a long story. And that's not today, so we'll keep on going. These things are being taken figuratively. The women represent 2 covenants. One covenant is from Mount Sinai and bears children who are to be slaves. This is Hagar. Now Hagar stands for Mount Sinai in Arabia and corresponds to the present city of Jerusalem, because she is in slavery with her children. But the Jerusalem that is above is free, and she is our mother, for it is written, "Be glad, barren woman, you who never bore a child. Shout for joy and cry aloud, you who were never in labor, because more are the children of the desolate woman than of her who has a husband." Now you brothers and sisters, like Isaac, are children of promise. At that time the son born according to the flesh persecuted the son born by the power of the Spirit. It is the same now. But what does Scripture say? Get rid of the slave woman and her son, for the slave woman's son will never share in the inheritance with the free woman's son. Therefore, brothers and sisters, we are not children of slave women, but of free women. So, Sarah would be our mother figure, not Hagar. It's like I was talking about going down through the line. Hagar was just Sarah's slave, which also made Ishmael the son of Abraham, but he was still a slave. The child who would get everything would be Sarah and Abraham's child, Isaac. All right. What the heck was that? All right, I messed up my page. But Psalm 61, it's yesterday's psalm. For the director of music was stringed instruments of David. Hear my cry, O God. Listen to my prayer. From the ends of the earth I call to you. I call as my heart grows faint. Lead me to the rock that is higher than I, for you have been my refuge, a strong tower against the foe. I long to dwell in your tent forever and take refuge in the shelter of your wings. For you, God, have heard my vows. You have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. Increase the days of the king's life, his years for many generations. May he be enthroned in God's presence forever. Appoint your love and faithfulness to protect him. Then I will ever sing in praise of your name and fulfill my vows day after day. And that was Psalm 61, a Psalm of David. Get back up there. This thing is just so stupid. Okay, let's see here. The page is so messed up. Psalm 62 is our psalm for today. For the director of music, for Jeduthun, a Psalm of David. Truly, my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him. Truly, he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. How long will you assault me? Would all of you throw me down? This leaning wall, this tottering fence? Surely they intend to topple me from my lofty place. They take delight in lies. With their mouths they bless, but in their hearts they curse. Yes, my soul, find rest in God. My hope comes from him. Truly, he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. My salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock, my refuge. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge. Surely the low-born are but a breath. The high-born are but a lie. If weighed on a balance, they are nothing. Together they are only a breath. Do not trust in extortion, or put vain hope in stolen goods. Though your riches increase, do not set your heart on them. One thing God has spoken, two things I have heard. Power belongs to God, and with you, Lord, is unfailing love. And you reward everyone according to what they have done. And that was Psalm 62, a Psalm of David. Now we're going to read Proverbs, which will be sayings 15 and 16. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 17, 18 is for yesterday. Saying 15. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. And now today's Proverbs, saying 16, Proverbs chapter 23, verses 19, 20, and 21. Listen, my son, and be wise, and set your heart on the right path. Do not join those who drink too much wine, or gorge themselves on meat. For drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. All right, guys, that was our Bible reading for yesterday and today. I hope it touched your guys' hearts. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Sherm? Sherm?
Oh, yeah.
I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye, guys. God bless.